नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधा स्वामी नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमः। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य स्थान। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत शिवास्ते गौर। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are discussing Vaishnava etiquette, how one should behave as a Vaishnava, so that helps us grow spiritually. So we covered some basics, how to visit temple, how to pay obeisances, how to uh, how to deal with devotees in some basic details. We'll continue from paying obeisances. Yeah. So the most important part when we are in the temple is worshipping the deity, or praying to the deity. So here are some instructions about praying to the deity in the temple. Yeah. So after offering obeisances to the deities, one should take darshana with great devotion and beg for the mercy. So generally, when we are not yet devotees, for example, right now we are trying to understand our position and who is God, but before that, generally, when we go to temple, what do? We pray to God, and what do we do in the prayer? Generally, huh? Yeah, give me this, help me with this, help me get the job, help me clear the exam, get me better score. Yeah, always express our desires before the Lord, right? Imagine from the Lord's perspective. Everybody comes and it's the same story. Everybody, keeps on asking something or the other. And return they give, coconut or $1. So, yeah. But as a devotee, first, when we enter the temple and, pray to God, the understanding is that we are here in the temple for Lord to see us. Lord is pleased when he sees his devotees. So when we go enter, it is actually less about our taking darshan. It's more about Lord taking us our darshan, right? Just like in a king's court, king expects all the ministers to be there, right? So that he can conduct the office. So like that, for Lord, when he sees the devotees, he will become happy. So we have to behave in a way that Lord is very happy with us, right? So what we do, we take darshan, right? So when we see the Lord, it's called darshan. How to take darshan, we'll see. The details are here. One should not, however, immediately look upon deities full in the face. Generally, we just go and see, so beautiful face, like that, right? We think like that. Just go and directly see the face. But actually, we should not directly see the face of the Lord. How do we start? It's given here. So it's described in Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, second chapter, 13th verse. The process of meditation should begin from lotus feet of the Lord. Start with the lotus feet. So, for example, the lotus feet of the Lord in the temple is in a Tribhanga form, right? So we start with that lotus feet. So we see the jewels on his feet. That is the first thing we see. And then his, the soles of his feet, which are pinkish in color, right? So we see the soles of the feet. And then slowly from there, progress towards the smiling face, right? So start from feet, then knees, and then his thighs, and then body, and then his chest, and then face, right? So the meditation should be concentrated upon the lotus feet, then the calves, then the thighs, and this way higher and higher. The more the mind becomes fixed on different parts of the limbs, one after another, the more the intelligence becomes purified. Just by taking darshana, our intelligence gets purified. Right? Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada explains in purport that such meditation will help us to get detached from sense gratification. Okay? So when we get the attachment to the beautiful, to the darshan of the Lord, to the beautiful form of the Lord, we will not be attracted to the things of this world. Oh, this person is so beautiful, this car is so beautiful, this building is so beautiful. Will not feel. As soon as we get attracted to Krishna, all these small things will go away from our mind. So that is how our intelligence gets purified. So the mood of the devotee taking darshana is, Sir, I am your eternal servant. Please let me know how can I serve you. This is the mood, right? It's not like generally in the past, it's like God is like order supplier, right? We just make our order list. Now it is the other way. We want to serve God. We don't want to give service to God. It's the other way. Right? In fact, at a higher level, there is a competition between God and the devotee about who will serve whom. If you look at Arjuna, in Mahabharata, so Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is ready to become what? Chariot driver. Chariot driver is not a big position in those days, especially when, for a king, a chariot driver is a secondary person. He's not the main person. If he's the main person, he should be the warrior. If Lord Krishna said, I won't be participating in the war, he could have been neutral and, he could have just be, completely away from all of this. But Lord personally became the chariot driver. It's like if you're a billionaire and for your servant, you go become the chauffeur for him. Can you imagine? Lord is ready to do that level, come to that level. So he's extremely, when a devotee becomes very advanced, so this is the way Lord always wants to serve. Devotee never wants to take the service. He is like, no, I will never take service from Lord. So there was a story in Chaitanya Lila about 500 years ago. There was, these Goswamis who are ardent disciples and followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one of them, once Rupa Goswami, is the second in the line after Sanatana Goswami. So one time he was not Rupa Goswami, I think I think Butter. I think fourth one is what? Goswami, Rup Sanatan, Raghunath Das. Yeah, Raghunath Das Goswami. Yeah. So Raghunath Das Goswami, once he was meditating on the form of the Lord, there were a lot of mosquitoes around. And, Rupa Goswami saw that Raghunath, when he was meditating, Radharani was personally trying to weed off all the mosquitoes from him. He was not, he was just totally absorbed in his meditation. So in that way, Lord always want to serve. And so he made sure he will never go and meditate, in that place because he's taking service of them. Another time, similar pastime happened with Rupa Goswami. He was just meditating that if only I had a deity of Lord, I could be, serving so many nice, wonderful items. And, he had a Shaligram Shila. Gopal Bhatt Goswami, yeah. So he was serving Shaligram, and he just had this thought, and lo and behold, the next morning, the Shaligram, exploded and became the deity of Radha Ramanji. So very famous deities in Vrindavan. Yeah, and you have to see the Radha Ramanji. He's like very finely carved. It appears like he was very, very finely carved. When the nails are very visible. So it all came expanded from Shila. Yeah. So Lord is always willing to serve like that. Um, Again, like Sakshi Gopal, we know the story. If you remember, we'll hear that next week. Yeah. So Lord is always willing to, jump to serve the devotees. But devotee doesn't want to take any service. So the functions of the big deities in the temple are for giving darshana and usually are the Ishtadevas of the Sampradaya. Right? So it is quite natural and respectful to see them first. For example, in our temples, generally there are multiple sets of deities. If you go, first is to the left of the altar is Srila Prabhupada, Acharya. Next is generally Gaur Nitai. It's like going in timeline back. First is Srila Prabhupada, and then Gaur Nitai, who introduced Sankirtan movement, right? And then you will see either Radha Krishna or Sitaram, and then either Radha Krishna, Sitaram, or Jagannath or Narsinga. So in that form, the deities are ordered, right? Have you all visited the temple? Right? Yeah. So in our temple, we have Srila Prabhupada, Gaur Nitai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, and Radha Nilmadha, Narsingadev, and Sitaram Lakshmana. Yeah. So one has to pay obeisances one by one, right? Yeah. Srila Prabhupada would pay obeisances first at Gaur Nitai's altar, then go to Krishna Balram's altar, and then to Radha Shyam Sundar altar. So this is our Vrindavan temple. Also, the devotee may like to see his guru first, but his guru's picture may not be present. Then take darshan in the ascending order from Krishna to Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. So when taking darshan, see a small subtle point, it should not be that we are obstructing the vision of deity to the devotee sitting on the floor. So you have to be not directly in the center. Should be little side. Yeah. The darshan should begin as we face the deities. From the left-hand corner, move progressively, deity by deity, to the right-hand corner. Yeah? So that's how we do. The leftmost to the rightmost. Sitting, even sitting, you have to learn how to sit. So while sitting, one should not expose one's feet to the deities. This is very important. Like sometimes people just stretch their legs after sitting on the floor. When you are sitting facing the deity, you should not face your feet to the Lord. Very careful. Right? Another thing, I just noticed whenever there is a performance in the temple, it should not be done away from facing the Lord. Like for example, sometimes, without closing the altar, the deities are in the back. Somebody is doing Bharatanatyam just before the deity, and everybody is just, watching the, Bharatanatyam. Behind them is deity. That is not proper. Why? Hmm? Yeah. One thing is back to the whole purpose of dance is for yeah. The most important thing is missing, right? So on Ram Navami day, somebody is doing Lava Kusha and they're facing us, and the deity is on the other side. So it's not for the audience. Mainly, it is for the deity. Yeah. So one should, as far as possible, avoid sitting with one's back to the deities or to the Vyasasana. Should not spread legs. One should not sit before the deities holding one's ankles. Yeah, so we should not see, this is wrong. We should not touch our souls like this because your hand becomes contaminated, yeah, dirty. You have to immediately go and wash. One should not fall asleep while sitting before the deity. Yeah. Yeah. So another thing is when Lord, so if you are facing a very important person, should we make noise in the hall? No. So those are the principles here. So in front of deity, we have to understand deity is a person there, real person. Right? He's not a representative of God. He is God himself. So that's why we feed, we do arti, we serve so much with care, we dress, give bath. Why? We feed 6 times. Why? Because they are actually there. So that's the understanding. One should not talk loudly, one should not quarrel, chastise anyone, speak harshly. We should not even praise others. Because why? Lord is the supreme and he is the most supreme worthy of praise. Speak bad names or criticize the demigods. Right? One should not criticize the demigods. Demigods are who? Yeah, Ganesha, Durga, yeah, Kali, or all the Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu. They're all representatives of the material. They're like cabinet ministry in the material world. Indulge in prasalpa or mundane talk. We should not talk about our office, politics. Speak a lie. We should not speak a lie. Talk nearby devotees who are chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yeah. One should not, if a devotee is chanting, we should not sit near him and talk to your other friend loudly because you are disturbing his chanting, right? These very subtle things. One may speak, so we have to be always conscious. God is here. I have to be respectful. Right? I have to be respectful to the devotees, respectful to the deities. One may speak in front of the deities to guests and devotees if it helps in preaching or enhancing their Krishna consciousness. But all other talk should be conducted outside the temple. Right? If you want to talk about a job or something, maybe you should get out of the temple first, temple hall, and then talk in the library. Yeah, it's not like it's wrong to talk, but we have to maintain the decorum of the temple hall. Dress and appearance. Even dress and appearance should be modest. So devotees' clothing should be simple, clean, distinctive as to remind people of Krishna. The most important is cleanliness. Means, in general college days, how students wear the same jeans for 6 months. We all know that, right? Yeah. So just wear the same jeans, put it on the hanger, and then again rewear. Just changing between the colors for 3 days a week, and just repeating the same until it really smells bad. So when coming to the temple, particularly for the morning program and on Sundays, devotees should dress as follows. So men, dhoti and kurta, because that's very sattvic in nature. The dress, it's made of cotton and the color is white, preferable, right? Of course, you're all just starting, but next week, if possible, don't wear jeans. Just wear regular, normal, like I'm wearing this kind of pant, regular pants. Okay, uh, this is a request. Yeah, and then women's saree. Of course, many of you are young, so it's okay. Other clothing must be avoided except in compelling circumstances or when definitely required for preaching. Yeah. For both men and women, clothing should be simple and not fashionable and opulent. We should not wear like very. So the whole point when we are in the temple, we should not attract the attention from Krishna. So somebody comes, oh Mataji, you're wearing very nice sari. Prabhuji, you are wearing very colorful dhoti. We shouldn't be looking for such comments. We should not attract such comments. That is possible when we wear somewhat simple dress. That doesn't mean that, it should be presentable. It should be neat and presentable. It should be ironed, right? We should not wear perfumes. So artificial, avoid and various forms of cosmetics and makeups should be avoided. Simplicity in dress is very important for a Vaishnava, whether in the temple or outside. Yeah. Simplicity when we have outside, our heart also becomes simple inside. That's the whole point. If we are bombastic outside, our desires and our inner consciousness is also somewhat materialistic. So we should avoid, like these things. Particularly for morning programs and for all temple programs in general, fresh clothes must be worn. The previous day clothes must not be worn. We should not repeat the same clothes. Lord Chaitanya said that a Vaishnava is one who, when seen, reminds one of Krishna. Yeah, we should, as soon as we see a devotee, we should feel, we should be reminded about Krishna. That's how Vaishnava dresses. We should not wear dress such that, we feel attracted to the person than Krishna. Yeah. So that's why, we should look like a Vaishnava. Yeah. So Tilaka, we discussed this. We should wear Tilaka in 12 places. And that becomes like a shield for protection from illusion of the material world. Yeah. Sometimes in office, some people hesitate to wear tilak. I used to do like that. I was very hesitant to wear tilak in office. But over time, I got used to it. Now I wear, I see, the Sikhs wear their, pagdi and all, right? So why not? I wear tilak at office. It doesn't mean you should experiment immediately. If you are not comfortable, it's okay. You can put with water for now, right? Yeah, as you become more comfortable, you can do it. Yeah. Men, brahmacharis and sannyasis must shave their head. Of course, we don't need to. You're all, if you're going to be unmarried, not married, then you can maintain, complete tonsure of the head, shaved head. Otherwise, you can maintain small hair, right? Keep the hair short and neat. If possible, a small shika. Only one and a half, shika is 1.5 inch. Means this size. Half of your finger. Yeah. So this is about shika, which is not very applicable. Yeah. Women should maintain long hair, tied behind. Kantimala, Tulsi neck beads. So this is Tulsi neck beads, right? When we are initiated, means we take diksha from a guru, then we must wear this Kantimala. So Kantimala is a representation of a Vaishnava, right? It's like, for a dog, sometimes people tie a cloth around. So this is like that for tie for us, for Krishna. Yeah. Generally initiated devotees wear 3 rounds. Non-initiated but following 4 regulative principles will wear 2 rounds. Yeah. So the mala should be wrapped around the base of the throat and should be clearly visible. Devotees who are not initiated but have been following all the regulative principles for some time and who desire to take Diksha may also wear Kantimala. Tulsi beads worn around the neck indicate a devotee's surrender to the Lord. So that's the indication of surrender. Yeah. And therefore, a person wearing Tulsi beads around his neck is dear to the Lord. However, a person is an offender if he wears Tulsi neck beads and simply imitate a Vaishnava but not seriously trying to surrender to the Lord. Yeah. If one wears it for just for decoration, it's offense. Yeah. If one is not following the 4 regulative principles, you should not wear. Right? There are other types of malas. So when you wear Kantimala, this will happen. What will happen? The Kantimala protects one from bad dreams, right? Accidents. You will be protected from accident. I have such experience. Attacked by weapons. And this, servants of Yamaras. You will not go to Yamlok. You will be protected. So you can see, there are great many benefits. Upon seeing the Tulsi Mala, the Yamadutas will flee away. Yeah. So the devotees who are not following basic principles, particularly chanting of the holy name and 4 regulative principles, should not wear Kantimala. So this is a qualification. No? One has to be pre-qualified. So he has to follow 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no illicit relations, no gambling, and no intoxication. Now one should also try to avoid onion and garlic. Mustache and beard. Devotees who are initiated or preparing to be initiated should not have a mustache or a beard. Right? It may be noted, however, that in some Vaishnava matas, men shave their face and head once a fortnight or in full moon day, Amavasya, and in Chaturmasya period, they do not shave at all. Yeah. But our standard is to shave on regular basis with the odd exception of some trips. If you are going on yatras, you won't, but otherwise you will. So the idea behind shaving mustache and beard is cleanliness. You want to be clean, right? Cleanliness and hygiene. So first important thing is to wear fresh clothes, right? We should not sleep on a cloth and again wear that next day, right? So that's not very clean, right? After one, again, prasadam. After one takes prasadam, the area where the plate was kept must be cleared. Where the plate was kept, we should clean it. Just with a tissue paper, just sprinkle some water and clean it. Yeah. One should not step over the area where prasadam was taken because it is considered contaminated. The place where we take prasadam becomes contaminated. So if we ever, eat prasadam and then there is a spillover, clean it and also wipe it with a tissue, wet tissue. Yeah. And if one steps on that spot, then feet must also be washed. The place where the prasadam has been taken must be cleaned right after the prasadam has been taken. Because the temple must be very clean, we should be very careful. We do not unnecessarily contaminate the temple. Right? So, because temple is Krishna's place, we want to make sure it is absolutely clean all the time. One should not enter the temple hall without even having washed one's hands and feet after eating. We should always, wash our hands. Of course, feet is not always practical in US. Yeah, but at least you should wash your hands. After eating, you should wash your mouth, hands, and then go to the temple. Clean hands and feet. Yeah. One should enter the temple with clean hands and feet. So that's why in India, all the temples have tap water right before. So you remove your shoes and then wash your hands, wash your feet, then go take darshan. You'll never go without washing your feet. But here, it's not practical. One should take bath after passing stool, and one then enter the temple hall. We should never, after using toilets, you know, we should not enter the temple hall. It's offense. One should be clean. One should take bath. One should not enter the temple after visiting a crematorium or after touching a dead body. One must first take proper bath and then enter. We should not, after visiting a crematorium, we should not directly go to the temple. It's considered contaminated or unclean place. Yeah. One should not pass or belch air or belch within the temple. So what do you do? I mean, it's natural to have a belch sometimes. So what do you do? Just come out of the temple for a minute and then come back. Finish that and come back. One should avoid putting one's fingers in the mouth, or ears, or nose while in the temple. We should not use. So all the holes of the body emit bad substances. We know, nose, ear has wax, nose has mucus, right? Urinals and so they all emit bad substances. One should clean himself immediately. Yeah, one should not put their fingers at all. I remember once when Maharaj was in the temple, a newcomer came. He was just touching his finger in the mouth. Maharaj said, "Please go and clean your hand first." Good. So he just went out and he washed his hand. Then after he came back, he explained. Maharaj explained, it's a cleanliness principle that your mouth has saliva, which when you touch it, you should immediately clean. Should be very clean in the temple. So during their menstrual periods, Matajis may visit the temple, but they may not perform any deity worship. Right? We should not go inside the altar and perform deity worship. You can visit the temple. That should not be a problem. Yeah. Aarti, dressing, cooking, garlands, or any other work that requires their presence in the deity room or kitchen, or any other work that is directly connected to the deities. We should not do that. At this time, such Matajis should avoid being in physical contact with anyone who is or will be involved in the service of the deities. So, we should not worship the deities in the temple, especially. Yeah. So, in the temple, we do Tulsi Puja. So, how many of you have attended Mangala in the temple? Yeah, all of you, right? So, one of the Aarti is Tulsi Aarti, the third Aarti. So, at which time, when you offer water. So, Tulsi Devi. One is, during menstrual time, one should not offer water. Under all circumstances, chanting of one's beads should continue. Right? Every day, whether clean or unclean, chanting can be done even if you did not take bath. But chanting is all purifying. Yeah. Sometimes somebody is traveling in the train and he may not be able to take a bath properly. Right? So even then, after you can still chant on the beads. But there can be no material impediment to the chanting of the Holy. As far as one's home is concerned, Mataji may try to, Mataji means ladies, should try to maintain the above standards where possible. In some cases, it may not be practical and possible to do that. as there may be no one else available to the cooking. Yeah. Sometimes, in today's busy life, it's not possible for ladies to just, stay outside and, in the olden days in India, during menstrual period, the ladies would not be actually doing any services in the home because they're emotionally also not very strong at the time. And either men or maybe servants in the home would actually take care of cooking and cleaning and everything. Uh, but that may not be practical, especially in America, like places like this, where say people have to go to the office very early in the morning, right? It may be very difficult to follow all of this. So in which case, we should, yeah, we have to do whatever is needful. Matasis may do the needful to fulfill the domestic obligations and at the same time also see that their household duties are taken care. Yeah. So at that time, it is recommended that other members of the family help. Right? Yeah. So general behavior. How do we behave with other devotees in the temple? Right? One should always remember that one is a devotee, and is representing Guru and Krishna. Whether in temple or at home, at work, in the office, or out on the street, one should conduct in a way that draws the appreciation of Guru and Krishna, and should avoid all conduct that will bring Guru and Krishna disrepute. Right? So, when our behavior is not good, immediately people will relate to our culture or our background, right? For example, one time I heard one of our ISKCON sannyasi. His name is Bhakti Rasamrita Swami. How many of you have heard Bhakti Rasamrita Swami? Yeah. So he was once he just boarded a flight. He returned from a flight. He was picking up his luggage. At the time, he just picked up one of the luggage. He looked exactly like his. So he just picked up and put it aside. And then he was just checking. And one man came and shouted, saying, "Hey, this is my bag. How can you take it?" Maharaj was very cool, calm, and composed. Maharaj said, "My bag exactly looks like this. It may be yours. Let's wait and see." And after 2 minutes, another bag came, which is exactly like that. Maharaj put both of them together and he showed, "See, both of them look alike." That was the reason I mentioned like that. Then he apologized. The lady, the wife of that man, see, he was so gentle. Why are you shouting at him? So even when people, sometimes because of their lack of control, they misbehave or, they become angry at us, we have to respond in a graceful way, right? So immediately they could, see, how a person with controlled mind behaves. So his wife said, see, he was so composed, irrespective of. So many people are watching, what is going on. This guy is shouting at sannyasi. Yeah. So our behavior matters. And if we behave wrongly, it brings disrepute in the public eye, right? If we shout at people, oh, people of ISKCON maybe are like this. They have some problem. So we should not bring disrepute ever. Yeah. So yeah. We should avoid all conduct that will bring disrepute to Guru and Krishna. We represent our Guru, just like we represent our family, right? If we don't behave, our family gets bad name, right? We all know that. So similarly, that will also bring bad name to our Guru if we don't behave correctly. Devotees should not wear expensive and flashy looking jewelry. Is for yeah, you should be careful not to wear flashy jewelry that attracts everybody's attention. You don't want to become the center. What is our goal? We want to make Krishna as the center, not ourselves. But that is our desire before, right? So in the past, we might be like that, let me wear something better than others, like that. But now we don't. No. Jewelry for women must be worn with careful moderation, if at all. And men should be preferably avoid all jewelry like gold chains, bracelets. Some men wear, big bracelets, thick gold chain touching the neck, right? Just to show that they're rich, or maybe, they're coming from a good family, like that. But, you know, our goal is to keep our life as simple as possible. Doesn't mean that you are not presentable, right? You wear finer clothes, but not flashy clothes. That's the whole point. As far as possible, devotees should avoid using any items made of leather, because that involves harm, animal killing. Yeah, so it involves animal killing, right? Especially they use cows. Yeah, knowing them to be the result of animal slaughter. Yeah, unless unavoidable in one's service, one should refrain from wearing leather shoes. Yeah, bags, wallets, watch straps. Yeah. So this is the most difficult thing. Even and particularly when one is criticized or offended, one should conduct oneself with dignity. It's not easy, especially when we are treated unfairly. Correct? Somebody tries to cheat us, or somebody tries to misunderstand and speak something negatively. Yeah, we should. It doesn't mean that you just become very passive. You don't react just like them. You respond with a calm and composed mind. That is, yeah, that's what that you will automatically get when you chant every day. When you chant every day, it will automatically become calm and quiet. While one may certainly take precautions against being cheated or take action where necessary, one should be careful to avoid picking up quarrels, indulging in useless argumentation, and so on. Yeah. We should not pick up quarrels with others as far as possible. Yeah, this is another important instruction. A devotee must be particularly careful in dealing with the opposite sex, men for women, women for men. Srila Rupa Goswami says that a devotee must not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. Means we should not neglect our duties at office, for example. In other words, one should not give up basic courtesies. Oh yeah, okay. And formalities, considering them to be mundane. Right? Yeah. So being respectful to elders, those things should not be avoided. To touch someone when one's foot is offensive. If suppose you are walking in the temple and you suddenly touch with your feet a devotee, what do? Right? So there is an instruction for it. So if one has to walk past a seated devotee in the temple, for example, one should extend one's hand to indicate that one wishes to go by. You should extend your hand and tell, right? And they will move their knees to let one pass. If by accident one touches a devotee with one's foot, one should touch the devotee's body gently with one's right hand, not left hand, and touch one's right hand to the head. So you touch the body and then say like this, touch. This nullifies the offense, because that's an offense. To touch one with the feet is offense. Yeah, how to attend a class. So it's very relevant for us. While attending discourses, one should be very attentive and silent. So we should not, like in a class, we should, talk with your neighbor. A talkative or sleepy devotee has a discouraging and distracting influence on the speaker and on assembled devotees. It does it does not also project a good image of our mission. Right? We should not talk too much. If one feels very sleepy, he should move aside in the hall and stand up instead of sleeping. We should not sleep in the class, ideally. Rules regarding sitting in the temple mentioned should be followed. Yeah. One should avoid moving in and out of the temple room, a room where the discourse is being conducted, is being taken place, because it will disturb others, right? If you keep walking while a lecture is going on, you are being, distracting others. And if you have children, make sure you are sitting in the very back so that they don't suddenly start crying in the middle. It always happens even now. Some child would cry, and the sannyasi will stop, and then he had to tell, and then he'll lose the flow. Yeah, so it's not good. Yeah. And when we ask questions, it should be relevant and pertinent to the topic of discussion there. Sometimes devotees ask some very like off-topic questions. So it's not very useful, even though it is not bad, but we should avoid asking irrelevant questions. Any questions so far? We discussed many principles like this. Anything? Hmm? Yeah. Hmm?
For example, devotees would remove the hair. But these are the ritual, it's not our own thing, right? So, but still, why need to be like save here?
Hmm.
Some people can maintain by cleanness by like washing. Still, why it's like prefer to save.
Yeah. So why shave, especially, it represents cleanliness. Because, for example, if you have a lot of beard, especially in India, you will form sweat and there will be bacteria, etc. formed. And it's close to nose, right? So the mucus from the nose would fall. So it's very unclean, and you keep touching it, it's very unclean. Even if you clean, you may not clean properly everything every time. So that's the reason. Even though it is growing naturally, if you fully shave it, it's that problem will not be there. Yeah, that's the main thing. Any other questions? I hope it's not too much, like so many instructions. Yeah, Mataji has a question.
There, yeah, this in that section it was mentioned about flashy jewelry and stuff like that. There is mention also about the wristwatch. So
No, shiny wristwatch. You can use watch. Yeah, yeah. Because when others see, they will start asking what is what is so special. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Whatever you can follow, try to follow. Over time, you will actually automatically follow everything. This is just for knowledge right now. may not be, following everything today.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji had a question.
Yes, Hare Krishna Namrata.
Prabhuji, you said that women need to cover the head in the presence of men. It was written there, and I even last class there were things about covering the head only for women. So I wanted to ask, why is that the case when in Indian culture the whole concept of covering the head came about 1,000 years ago due to several uh, due to all the culture changes that came 1,000 years ago and the invasions that happened in northern India, but it wasn't native or it wasn't in the culture. I haven't seen a scripture that says that for covering the head.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that comment. I also don't have more details on why head is covered. We can check maybe when Radhisham Prabhu comes next week. Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't heard, yeah, I also haven't heard specifically like official scripture. Yeah. Arati is called Niranjana or Drishti, which means waving auspicious items before a person in order to dispel inauspicious influences or elements as a means of protection. Yeah. Because so many people, Lord gives darshan every day. So when we perform arati, we'll take away his dishti. Yeah. It is because we treat Lord as our family member, we treat with love. Okay. So that's the reason. Some devotees, they serve their deity every day. They can immediately feel whether the, deity is happy or a little bit sad, because they have such personal connection with the deity, personal relation with the deity. They can, immediately see maybe we did something wrong, that deity is not very happy with us today. Yeah. So they can feel that. So the various items offered, all representative of the material elements in pure form. The incense, water, fire, we offer these. Yeah. So, and the corresponding sense objects are auspicious and purifying. Yeah. So these items are offered during Arati. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada talks about Arati in the morning, the benefit of that. So in the Skanda Purana, there is the following description of the result of seeing Arati or worship of the deity. If someone sees the face of the Lord while Arati is going on, he can be relieved of all sinful reactions coming from many, many thousands and millions of years past. Wow. He is even excused from the killing of a Brahmana or similar prohibited activities. So just by taking darshan of the Lord will relieve us, one of many sinful reactions. This all artis offered to the Lord are auspicious, Mangala. So the morning arti is called a Mangala arti, most auspicious arti. Yeah. But the first arti of the day in the early morning is considered particularly auspicious for all who participate. So every day, even if you don't perform other artis, even if you have, pictures, you don't need to have deities. Just having, say, Radha Krishna picture before you, you can just, do simple arati with incense, flower, and, chamar, 2 3 rings. It takes only like 10 minutes, but it is the most beneficial thing, right? Yeah. And only Mangalarti, if not anything else, just do Mangalarti, first Arati of the day. Sri Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakura, he is an Acharya, who appeared in the middle of 17th century, is a great spiritual master in Krishna consciousness chain of gurus and disciples. He says, one who with great care and attention loudly recites this beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during the Brahma Muhurta obtains direct service to Krishna. the Lord of Vrindavan at the time of his death. So if you perform Aarti every single day, you are 100% guaranteed to go back to Krishna. You will not come back to the material world again. So just by doing Aarti, you can go. Okay? Honoring Mahaprasadam. Yeah, Nirmalya. Nirmalya is the term used. It refers to garlands, flowers, chandan, bath water, ghee lamp, tulsi leaves that the pujari has offered to the Lord during puja. So after the puja is completed, the devotee should accept these items on the head saying Jaya Mahaprasada. Yeah. So that's why when a ghee lamp is offered in the temple, it is given to everyone. We take that offering. Yeah. So we have to say Jaya. One should not disrespect the Nirmalya by stepping on it or leaving it in an unclean place. So we have to respect Nirmalya, such as garlands and flowers can be collected and disposed in a river or lake or the ocean. Devotees accept prasada flower garlands by touching them to head, wearing them and smelling them. Yeah. So, yeah. So they accept prasada tulsi garlands simply by touching them to the head and smelling them. So whenever a garland is brought, you should touch to your head and smell them. Charanamrita, right? So the bath water of the Lord is called Charanamrita because it baths the body of the Lord. So drinking the bath water of Vishnu is powerful enough to destroy the effects of millions of sins, such as killing of other living entities. However, the person who lets even one drop of sacred bath water fall on the ground must suffer 8 million such sinful effects. My God, so scary. So instructions are just to make sure we have that consciousness. The pujari should distribute the charanamrita to the devotees who may chant the following verse while drinking and placing the on their heads. There is a shloka for it. To avoid spillage, hold your left hand. So you should place like this. The bottom hand for spillage. In the traditional temples, the lamp is brought first to Garuda, who stands at the back of the temple. In regular temples, first it is taken to Garuda and then to the devotees because he's the first, most important devotee in the assembly there. Yeah. In ISKCON temples, the lamp is brought first to Srila Prabhupada. He is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. He is the pure devotee there, as he is the Vaishnava Sreshta, or the leader of the assembled devotees in the order of seniority. Yeah. For women in monthly cycle, you should avoid touching the lamp. You can take the lamp, but not touch it. The person offering the lamp should be sensitive to the seniority of the assembled devotees. Right? So you should first give it to the most senior person there and then to the younger ones. The assembled devotees, however, should not be overly sensitive if missed when the lamp is offered. Should not become, very reactive. Yeah. The lamp is not meant to show respect or honor to us, but rather we are meant to offer respect to the lamp as the Lord's prasada by touching the fire on our foreheads. It's not about, basically is offering our respect to them. Sometimes a pujari gives the deity dress pieces, like we used in Abhishek, and the cloth is given. So we have to also, that's called deity's clothing. We have to respectfully treat that, right? So we have to place it appropriately in the altar, in a glass or a cup, right? We should not just throw it away. One may also wear it, but strictly speaking, it is best not to cut and resew the cloth. Mahaprasadam. Yeah. As is commonly practiced in many temples in India, after the Darshanarati, the Pujari may distribute some small morsels of prasadam to devotees directly from the altar room or from outside. Sometimes, for preaching purposes, small quantity of prasadam is distributed to guests. Devotees respect these remnants immediately, moving somewhat to the side of the temple room so as not to directly in front of the deities. Yeah. So when eating prasadam, we don't directly eat before the deity. So we should move aside or or move outside the temple hall. Yeah. Anyway, so I think we are at time. I just want to speak that next week is we have retreat. I hope you're all excited. And how many of many of you are coming in the night? I think Friday night itself, right? So in the morning, the first program is, I'll show you, I'll show you. So the first program is chanting in the morning at 5 o'clock. So which is little early. I hope you all plan for it. If you have to travel, just make sure you plan for it. And whatever you need for the day, I will share this with you all if you need. So look at this template. So morning 5 o'clock it starts. So the first is chanting. Okay. For example, if you are not comfortable to be so early, you can come by 5:30 at least. Okay. 5:30 or maybe. So problem is 5:30 if you come, no, if you are late further, you'll miss the class. Worst to worst, be there by 6. Okay. Especially if you have to travel from a different place. But many, I think 20 of you are just staying there. So by the way, we have 40 registrants. 40 of you are attending. So it's a big number. About 20 or 25 are going to be staying nearby. So we will talk about the accommodation during the week. We will tell you where to come, so come with your basic necessities like clothes and toiletry, basic needs. Yeah, water and all those things will be taken care. Get your basic, towels, whatever, laundry, towels, toiletry and clothes. Those are the things for 2 days. And 5 a.m. will start chanting and then Mangalarti. It will be nice if you all can join. Yeah. So, and then Japa talk. This is very important. 6 to 6:45. And then again chanting, right? If you are sleepy, you can take a break at this time. And then breakfast. You can, there'll be places where you can rest. And then 9:30 to 11, yeah. So this is another session. So practically from 7:45 or 8 o'clock to 9:30 is 1.5 hours. So you can take breakfast 20 minutes and rest or whatever so that you're fully awake for this class. Yeah. So 8 to 9:30 is a big break. So 9:30 we have this session by Radhesham Prabhu. And then the second session with a break between of 30 minutes. And then there is a game. And then followed by lunch. Okay, post lunch, we want to do a Sankirtan with all of you. So we'll go to Issaquah downtown, which is like 5 to 10 minutes from there. So we'll all assemble in 2 lines and do Sankirtan. It'll be very fun. Okay. Especially with Radhesham Prabhu, right? So, and then we come back by 2:30. There'll be some kirtan there, right? Then third session, 3 to 4. Maybe this kirtan may not be there. Instead of that, we'll have Sankirtan outside. 3 to 4, this class, and then drama. What is real happiness? Girls will do. And then 6 opulences of Krishna. This is a session by Radhesham Prabhu wanted the teachers to cover, myself and Krishnamurli Prabhu, Arjun Saka Prabhu will cover. And he will also add some points. What is this? And then that day is also Narsinga Chaturdasi. We'll go to temple for festival. And then, after 8:30, you will be very tired because, whole day of activities. So you'll go by 8:30, you sleep so that you can get up early and come back for chanting. So Sunday, try to be there by chanting, or at least by 6 o'clock. Yeah. So 6:45 to 7:45 chanting. It's very similar again, different classes. Deity worship. Again, this may be going away with Sankirtan. Lunch, and then Sakshi Gopal drama. And each of you, will spend a minute. Whatever your inspiration, what you want to do going forward, right? That want to commit like 2 rounds, 1 round, whatever it is. So make some sankalp. And then this is for volunteers who have been cooking all this while for you. All the volunteers meet Radhesham Prabhu. And then you go back home. Okay, so this is the overall plan. Any questions? I want to hear, you have any doubts about what to do, what not to do. So when you enter the venue, we will have you all wear tilak. Okay. Some volunteer will be there. You'll put tilak. We are planning to get T-shirts for all of you for the event. Okay. If we get by Saturday, we'll have it, or maybe by Sunday we'll have it. Most likely. Hopefully, it'll come by Sunday. Yeah. So setting up tents outside in my backyard. So we'll see if the weather permits. Mostly we'll try to do outside. Where it's not possible, we'll do inside. Inside also we can do. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so Friday evening, there is a class in temple by Radhesham Prabhu. Yeah, if you want to come a little early by 7 o'clock, instead of 8:30 sleeping time, you can come by 7, and then 7:30 to 8:30 Prabhu will do a session. And then after that, you can have dinner in the temple and then go home. Right? So dinner on both days will be at the temple. The sessions will finish by like 5:30. Okay, so this is the overall schedule. Should we do one round of chanting again? Yeah.